Russia has stepped up its attacks in the Kursk region, bringing in one mechanized column after another. Heavy clashes are reported. On November 7th, 2024, Russian troops resumed their attempts to seize the positions of the Ukrainian defense forces through mechanized attacks in the Kursk Oblast. Although the fighting on this section of the front line never stopped, the Russians are conducting a new series of large mechanized assaults since November 7th, taking advantage of the bad weather. According to the New York Times, which cites unnamed American and Ukrainian officials, the Russian military has assembled a 50,000-strong group, including North Korean troops, in the Kursk sector. The Ukrainian 95th Air Assault Brigade showed footage of a recently repelled Russian mechanized attack into Pogrebki, Kursk region. The recent Russian counteroffensive in the Kursk region starkly illustrates that despite months of battle experience, the Russian military has not learned the lessons necessary for effective modern warfare. Observers note that the tactics employed resemble outdated Soviet-era strategies that emphasize sheer manpower over strategic finesse. This lack of adaptability has once again resulted in massive losses for the Russian side, with entire units being decimated due to poor planning and execution. One of the most glaring issues with the offensive is the consistent use of infantry assaults without adequate air or artillery support. These attacks, launched in a rush to reclaim territory, expose soldiers to a wide range of vulnerabilities. Ukrainian forces, well equipped with drones and precision-guided munitions, have effectively targeted Russian units attempting to advance. The inability of Russian commanders to coordinate multi-layered operations that include air cover, mechanized support, and infantry movements has left their soldiers vulnerable to ambushes and defensive strikes. As a result, the front lines have become a graveyard for Russian troops and equipment alike. Despite the rhetoric from Moscow that portrays this counteroffensive as a push to reclaim strategic ground before the harsh winter sets in, the gains made so far have been negligible. Russian forces have managed to capture minimal swathes of land that hold limited strategic value, all while sustaining massive casualties. The high attrition rate has only exacerbated the already low morale among the troops, many of whom have been conscripts or reservists with inadequate training. The offensive highlights a fundamental issue within the Russian military: a rigid, top-down command structure that stifles initiative and adaptation on the battlefield. Junior officers, unable to make tactical adjustments in real time, find themselves following orders that may be outdated or ill-suited to the current conditions. This inability to pivot in the face of modern, adaptive Ukrainian defense strategies underscores why the Russian military continues to suffer disproportionate losses. Ukrainian forces have taken full advantage of these shortcomings, using a blend of defensive lines and preemptive strikes to halt and bleed out Russian advancements. High-tech assets like surveillance drones have played a pivotal role in tracking and targeting Russian units, making the cost of each failed push even higher for Moscow. The Russians' lack of counter-drone measures has left them exposed, making it difficult to conceal movements or reinforce their positions without being detected and targeted. Ultimately, the Kursk counteroffensive serves as yet another grim reminder of Russia's failure to evolve beyond its reliance on mass assaults and outdated strategies. These are preliminary territorial changes after 3 days of massive Russian counteroffensive in Kursk Oblast, losing 28 armored vehicles, mostly modern BTR-82A, and more than 200 soldiers killed, wounded, and captured. What a disaster for Vladimir Putin and his generals. According to El Pais, citing a source in the Ukrainian armed forces, the number of Ukrainian troops involved in the operation in the Kursk region now surpasses those deployed in Donbass. Despite occasional shortages of weapons and equipment, there are no issues with personnel. Troop rotations in Kursk occur every 10 days, while in Kurakov, Donbass, it averages every 25 days. A sergeant from the 225th Assault Battalion noted that their mission in the Kursk region is to keep going forward. And we have more. The Ukrainian Flying Skull Unit destroys Russian equipment and infantry in the Kursk region. Despite common perceptions that Russia's military has an endless supply of equipment and resources, the reality on the ground paints a different picture. Years of corruption, mismanagement, and inefficiencies within the Russian defense industry have eroded stockpiles and disrupted supply chains. While Moscow has maintained the image of a powerful, well-equipped military, the ongoing conflict has revealed significant cracks in their logistical capabilities. The massive losses sustained during the recent counteroffensive in the Kursk region have only exacerbated these issues. With large numbers of tanks, armored vehicles, and other crucial equipment being destroyed or captured, replenishing these resources has proven to be a daunting task for Russia. Western sanctions have further strained their ability to acquire advanced technology and parts needed for modern military equipment, forcing them to rely on outdated models and older munitions. These challenges are compounded by the high attrition rate among troops and equipment. The need to replace destroyed assets far outpaces Russia's current production capabilities, leading to shortages that are beginning to impact their operations. As Russian units continue to sustain heavy losses without significant territorial gains, the strain on their supply lines becomes more evident. Reports indicate that troops often face delays in receiving essential equipment, leading to lowered morale and effectiveness on the battlefield. Ukraine has capitalized on these vulnerabilities by targeting supply depots, logistical hubs, and transport routes, further stretching Russian resources. On November 5th, a house in Belgorod was hit by a Russian Shahed drone that failed to reach Ukraine. We guess they will blame Ukraine for this too. Russian propagandists. If Trump stops supporting the Kiev regime, Putin will win and take over all of Ukraine, and then an enthusiastic and very angry Russia will appear at the EU border, with Ukraine's army in addition to its own. Sounds like a very good plan. I am certain that the US leaders, both current and future, understand that very well and are fully aware of the risks.
Генсек НАТО Марк Рютте паникует, если Трамп перестанет поддерживать киевский режим, то Путин победит и захватит всю Украину, после чего у границы Евросоюза появится воодушевленная и очень злая Россия, получившая вдобавок к своей армии еще и армию Украины. Звучит как очень хороший план.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.